So I lead a company called Bicycle Transit Systems, and we're going to be operating Philadelphia Bike Share. There are only a few opportunities in a century to introduce a new transit system. Bike share is one of them. So it's really exciting. We're going to change the city. And like Chris was talking about, the city is doing some great things. Bike share pretty much is happening everywhere, as we see, in China, in the US, in Europe, and it is finally coming to Philly. It started in Paris, and then all the mayors went to Paris and came to Montreal, and now it's coming to cities around the US. So I'm going to talk a little bit about bike share because you guys have probably by now seen it, which is crazy to me. I've been doing this for about 7 years from Philly. So my company, the folks in my company, we launched Boston, New York, DC, several other cities, and we've been doing it from Philly. So this is really exciting to launch in our hometown. So this is what's going on with bike share. And why is it this new thing? The average bike share rider in DC saved $800 a year in transportation costs. Riding a bike 30 minutes a day lowers your risk of heart disease by 80%. And cities and mayors are putting their names on bike share. You can get half a mile of streetcar, a tenth of a mile of light rail, 1 mile of road, or a full transportation system that can change the city. So what is it? It's not to rent a bike for half a day. It's meant as a transit. We're going to put a dense network of stations around the city, and you ride from one station to another. Use it for the average ride is about 1 mile, so it's short. And so who are we? We're going to operate the system. We're like the U.S. Air for Boeing. It's our people on the ground who are going to be maintaining the bikes, moving the bicycles. We have a team of 5. We're based here in Philly, and the bikes and the equipment are going to. This is what you're going to see at 70 stations around the city. They're made by Trek. So where we are now, on the upper left is phillybikeshare.com. We've just closed the public input. We're locating sites, and we have a partnership with Mural Arts, and these were vinyls that were around the city. And this is, we're going to be launching in April. And this is what we have to do between now and April. We have to get a warehouse. We have to launch a website. We're going to have a local customer service center. We're going to hire and train probably 30 people for this. We have to educate people about what bike share is, install the stations. Once we get to a launch in April, this is what we do. We take care of the bikes. We move the bikes around. We have to deal with snow and rain and hurricanes. We have to keep the stations up and moving. And we have to sell memberships. So we joke that Philly has a 40-second mover advantage. We are not the first, but we are doing it the best. So we are changing the pricing structure of typical bike share. It's going to be more like transit. There's going to be a monthly pass, a card to keep in your pocket if you're an infrequent user that you can pay as you go. No city has done this so far. And also a pay per half hour for visitors. We're looking at targeting people who live here, people who live in neighborhoods, people who commute to the city, people who visit the city. The exciting piece of this is Philadelphia also, the city led a grant, a $6 million grant to create a more equitable bike share system because bike share, it's really the cheapest way to get around, but it really hasn't been used by lower income folks. And so they're going to help service underserved neighborhoods. There are going to be 20 stations that are funded by this grant. And there's going to be a way for people without credit cards to use bike share. And the bike share industry is pretty crazy. It's sort of a bubble type of industry. There have been companies that have started and grown and gone bust. And no one's making a lot of money in it, but you hear about the sharing economy. So I just wanted to say for a second where bike share is going. There really hasn't been too much outside investment in it yet. And so where we think it's going is using your phone to check out a bike, to be able to use your phone or to have one mode to pay for your multimodal trip. We expect later that there might be the user interface on the bike. And Bike Transit wants to lead this from Philly. So what I can ask you is please stay in touch, keep abreast, and try it. When it lands on the ground, support it and try it. So thank you, everyone.